Yeah. In a changing and unpredictable world, being armed with the right information, particularly with regards to our financial futures, can give us a sense of control. Plans change, but a solid base from which to absorb and deal with any future financial hurdles can alleviate uncertainty and stress. Many are unaware of so many ethical mechanisms available to help protect their estates and assets against the range of factors such as inheritance tax, the cost of care, and more. So now with this, I welcome Dr. Hari Appanapalli, Chairman JNTUH Alumni Association, to give alumni activity updates.
Yeah, Srini, you can continue actually next. You can invite the.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Srini, for inviting me. Really appreciate it. It is wonderful to see all of you on a spring break, especially in New Jersey, and I appreciate our speakers, Sunita and Anil Garu, for joining us to enlighten us how to protect our wealth and pass it on to the future generations. Thank you, Sunita and Anil, for joining us today. And the JNTUH Alumni Association is created in the US to bring all the alumni together. We are about 2 million globally graduated with JNTUH degrees with a history of 50 years. This happens to be the 50th Golden Jubilee year for the JNTU Hyderabad, in fact, and we are celebrating that in a big way by organizing these various webinars to enlighten our alumni members to benefit from the experts. Again, JNTU is a very historic organization. We have about 8 constituent colleges and over 270 affiliated colleges. Every year, close to 70 to 80,000 people graduate with JNTUH degrees, and most of them end up in IT and various other industries globally. And we are focusing on bringing them together so that we can help each other and also help the mother institution which gave us the education and made us the responsible citizens. So we would like to again welcome to this very informative webinar from the 2 experts, Anil Grandi and Sunita. Both of them will provide you the information to how do we protect your wealth and how do we pass it on to the future generations through financial planning and estate planning. Again, thank you all for joining this today.
Mr. Hari Garu, thank you. And Kumar, can we ask this? We see like few new people joined here. Can we ask them to introduce before we start the webinar? I see like
new people here I see is Krishna, Ashley, Ritin. Can you please introduce yourself?
And if possible, you can probably show your face too. You can, if that's possible.
Hi, my name is Elleshwar. Actually, like it's showing as Ritin. He is my son. So my name is Elleshwar Ritin. I'm 92 computer science batch for the diploma holder, the evening batch. I'm staying in Keri, North Carolina.
Hi, Thank you very much. Welcome to the webinar today.
You can rename, Andy. You can click the 3 dots next to you, rename yourself because it's being recorded.
Sure.
Thank you. Welcome.
Next, Krishna, Ashley, Shashidhara Mantena.
She is my friend and he's not from JNTUH. So
okay, no problem. Yeah, welcome to the webinar today.
Thank you for joining. Yep.
Krishna, Ashley, can you hear us? Can you please introduce yourself?
He's on mute.
So
probably.
With that,
one more. Sorry, Srini Bhattu.
Yeah, Srini Bhattu is connecting now. Can you hear Srini?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is Srini Bhattu, 89 CS. I'm from Fremont, California.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you, Krishna.
Hi, my name is Krishna Nikile. I'm in Texas. I'm in Texas, Austin, and I'm 97 pass out from computer science.
Okay. Are you a member of this Alumni Association member here?
I am member of this WhatsApp group.
Okay.
But are you referring anything else?
Yeah. Thank you. Welcome to the group.
Thanks, Kumar.
Yeah, Krishna, we'll send you a link for joining the JNTUH membership group. It's a web form. We'll send the link to you and you could join.
Please do that.
Sure. Thank you.
I think he is already in our group, right? Krishna, this is Arvind Kumar.
Yeah, he said that he is already there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my classmate.
Oh, yes. Okay, Praveen. Thank you, Praveen.
We saw like another person joining. It's in connecting audio, but maybe we can introduce him. Yeah, we can ask him to introduce after the speaker, and we can probably continue. Thank you.
Yeah, so Krishna, I put the link in the chat. Please click on that and register yourself as an alumni.
Sure, we'll do that.
When you get a chance. Yeah, thank you.
Srini, go ahead next.
Thank you, Harigaru, for a good overview overall here. Now I welcome Praveen Nidmolu, who is VP of International JNTUH Association, to introduce our first speaker, Mrs. Sunita Krosuri.
Yeah, thank you so much, Srini, for the opportunity. We are all very fortunate and honored to have Ms. Sunita Krosuri, who happens to be our very own alumnus. However, she's also a very accomplished lawyer, and you will see that, with the career change, she basically received a Bachelor's of Engineering from JNTU, Bachelor's of Technology from JNTU, India, and then attended Rutgers School of Law in New Jersey, from which she graduated with a Doctor of Jurisprudence, JD. She also received a Master's in Business Administration, MBA from Rutgers School of Business. She's an active member of the Middlesex Bar Association, as well as Mercer County Bar Association. She's also a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association, AILA. She's a trained negotiator and a certified mediator. She has expertise with business law, immigration, and, of course, information technology. Mrs. Krosuri has widespread knowledge in estate planning, real estate planning, and worked extensively with clients all over the East Coast. And she represents the world of technology as well as law. So we're very, very fortunate, and I'm personally very honored to welcome Mrs. Sunita Krosuri to deliver the opening keynote speech. Mrs. Sunita, please take it away.
Thank you, Praveen Garu. Thanks for the kind words. Thank you, Hari Garu, Kumar Garu, Srini Garu, and Praveen Garu, everyone, Sudhakar Garu, all the management team of JNTU Alumni Association. I'm proud to be and honored to be associated with this association and giving back to the society and to your own core alma mater. It is a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate this opportunity and would like to share all my knowledge, what is useful, especially in this pandemic situation. We are breathing, and then now again we are hearing that a new virus is popping up and Shanghai is in lockdown. And in US also we are seeing a lot of alarming cases rate. So, and at this time, we definitely think it is a good opportunity for you to plan for your future. On this note, so on this association, through this association, I would like to share the knowledge and the information needed for all the people. Praveen Garu, or Kumar Garu, if you can make me a presenter, I will launch my presentation.
You can share.
Oh. So
yes,
basically, you can see, right?
Yeah, we can see. Go ahead.
Let me run this presentation.
Kumar Garu, please put spotlight so the speaker is highlighted.
Okay. So my topic for today will be how one can safeguard the estate, and then wills, what are wills, what are trusts, and how estate planning can be done. So basically controlling and distributioning of your assets is the core idea here. Everybody thinks I don't have an estate, I'm not that big of person to distribute anything, but everybody will have an estate. So here, what is estate planning? Why should I plan my estate and how much time it takes? Basically, estate planning is nothing but wills, power of attorney, advanced healthcare or medical care. And if you have a need for the trust, you have to have a trust. And if in case, if you need to probate, what needs to be done, that is all covered in estate planning seminar here. So as I said, 5 primary items of estate planning: last will and testament. That means when one person is no longer alive, that is when this last will and testament comes into picture. And power of attorney, this is also called durable power of attorney. And this comes into picture when somebody is missing and not available. Then, like suppose husband is in India and wife needs to close a real estate. In that case, she needs a power of attorney, or she needs to open or close a bank account. She needs a power of attorney. So a power of attorney is definitely a must for everyone to have it, so that it comes into picture when it is in need. And the next one is advanced medical directive, or it's also called living will. This comes into picture when someone is incapacitated or into a comatic state. The family needs to make a decision to do a operation or surgery. So in that case, who will make the decision? What kind of does she or he or she needs to be continued on a life support or not? So that is what we need to make a decision. That time, who is the authorized person? So if he doesn't have a authority, then he cannot make a decision. In that case, it will be a big problem for the person. So it is always good to have all these 3 basic documents. And in case of a need, they will safeguard your family who is already in stress. They don't need to run around and get these documents or get help legally, which takes very expensive. Probating a court is not an easy thing. You have to prove so many things and so many hoops and loops you have to jump through. So these 3 are basic things. And as I said, probating, once somebody is not there, you take the will to the court and prove yourself that you are the legal heir, and then processing is all probating. And trust is not for everyone. Basically, if you have a lot of commercial company businesses, then it's better to safeguard your assets into a trust. And or if you have a medically disabled or autistic kind of child which needs government support, in that case we need to establish a medical help trust, special needs child trust. We have to establish. That is when the trusts are required for that. Okay, moving on to the estate planning. How you want your assets to be distributed. So generally, we think that, oh, my children will inherit my property. It's not true. If you are in a state where it is not like the estate laws are different, then if they cannot establish, it goes to the state. So you have to be really careful about it. So again, people think I don't have an estate, I don't need an estate plan. It's not true. Even if you have 1,000 rupees or a single car or a small house, you have an estate to distribute. So estate is nothing but your current net worth at the time of your death, less liabilities. Suppose you have a mortgage or any loans, unpaid taxes, funeral expenses, those are all liabilities. So from your total estate, your net worth is determined by deducting the liabilities. So everyone has an estate, and that is a misnomer and misconception that I don't have an estate to distribute. So then now coming to what type of assets contribute an estate. So there are multiple different types of assets. So the types of assets are real and personal property. You can have real estate, land and improvements on the land. Those are all real estate assets. And then you have a bank account, stocks, bonds, insurance policies, retirement, employment benefits. These are all again another class of assets. And the third one is parental inheritance rights in USA. Suppose you are second generation, your parents have some wealth to pass it on. So that is again inheritance rights will be there that you have to do. And one important thing I wanted to establish upfront is this estate planning only covers whatever you do in USA is only for US assets and estates. People always ask me, what do I do with my Indian assets? You have to have a different estate planning for India because the rules are different, the laws are different across the country, they're not same. So you have to have a different estate planning for Indian properties. And the final one is vehicles. You have cars, you have furniture, jewelry, antique pieces, clothing, paintings, personal, any heirloom opportunities you have inherited from some antique jewelry from grandma or anybody. So those are all your types of assets. So now you just wanted to know like who determines how my assets will be distributed. So I don't want the state any trustee to decide my information. So it is you, whoever owns the property should be decided. So if nobody is there to have a proper guidance and documentation, state of your domicile or resident state will decide. State of domicile means like wherever, suppose if you are filing taxes from New Jersey, that is your state of domicile. So where you are resident, you're declaring it is my primary resident, that is the state rules the legally your all the assets. As we are talking, what are the benefits of estate planning? You are minimizing your administrative expenses because if you don't have a will, then the court will appoint somebody and that person will charge you by an hour and he will have to determine what assets you have, and there will be administration fees, attorney fees, court fees. There are so much things, and taxes will be also different. So for that, these are all the benefits. You have to have minimizing taxes. You can save the costs of the court, and healthcare also. You have to have somebody in advance, though that will help you a lot of trouble to the family leaving behind. And what are the benefits of planning your estates, discontinuing? You specify exactly who the estate should be divided towards whom. And it is like your fruit of all your life, you work for the estate and you don't want to be mismanaged by somebody whom you don't want to be inherited. So you will have to each opportunity to decide and declare who is your heir legally and whom you trust to organize or control your company, whom you want to run the business. So much things you can do it, and you can specify in case somebody is not there, who will be the guardian. So you wanted to raise him like with some belief or faith. So you can trust and assign a guardian, so they can treat your children and then take care of them. And you can provide for your children's education. So that is an incentive also. So if you pass a college, you will inherit 200K or something. You can motivate them also, and plan for our own funeral arrangements and protect property from creditors. Suppose you have apartment unit or something, somebody trip and fell, so that tenant might sue us saying that like, oh okay, it is your property and I got hurt, and if you don't have a proper shielding for that, then your asset will be at risk and the come and after you and take over it. So these are all things. If you have different kind of assets, then you need to provide for like how you need to shield and how to avoid all the litigation on your hard-earned earnings. Okay, and also you can ensure beneficiaries promptly receive the property, because if there is no will and there is nothing drafted, then the children has to establish themselves that they are the legal heirs. So that takes time. So especially if there are some broken families or there are stepchildren and all, then you have to properly plan them and properly establish the need for the children also. This is again same thing, what we have to do, costs and how the car loan payments do it. And also suppose in one case of scenario, what we came into picture is there is a house and there is also loan. So there is no cash. So in that case, the house will be sold at a market price or sometimes lesser than price to pay off the loan. So those are all the things you can document. So what is the priority to keep it? What is the priority to dispose it of? What is your need and necessities? Everything can be planned accordingly. And sometimes I see all these accidents happen. Husband is the owner of the assets, car and everything, and wife is not included in the bank locker or anything, and she is in big trauma because once she's in a bad situation because she cannot establish, she cannot sell a car, she cannot open bank account and get her locker things and all. So this is all big headache for the family left behind. And what is dying intestate? People will, you always see like, oh, what is intestate means? That is without will. If somebody dying without a will, that is called intestate. So what happens is dying without a will, that is what we already discussed. State will establish and legal heirs, and they will be controlling your asset, and based on the rules, they go by the book, not by your will or not by your wishes. Okay. It will be costly, and it will be spouse and children need to go through court, and court costs and attorney costs will be there. And this is also same thing, dying, it will unexpected costs will be there, and if nobody is there, state will take it. Same thing, I have it. And now estate planning documents. What are the documents? In the beginning of the presentation, I told the 3 very important documents, which are last will and testament, and then durable power of attorney, and then medical directive, that is also called living will. So the very first one, last will and testament. This is the very final document. It is also called, that's why last will, because it will come into picture when somebody is not alive. That means a person deceased, and now we are going through the probating of his will document. So if you take the stats, 80% of the Indians die without will. Unfortunately, this is very alarming situation for our community, because we don't have awareness, and no matter how many GoFundMe we see, we still don't feel like, oh, it will never happen to me, and I will take it, I will do it when I get a time. This is a priority, and I enforce and insist and I appeal everyone, and please pass on the information to your friends and family and make them aware, and make them, this is a necessary step. However, it is small, it is a basic also, we need something so that we will be covered. And comparing to other race and religion, Africans are only 32% have a will, and only 80% of Hispanics will not have a will. But it is not like Indians. Even 40% of Americans die without will. It is alarming in our country and rich affluent community like Indian community. Awareness is so poor. We need to educate our community and our national citizens that 80% of Indians die without will. This is not good stats, which we should be proud of. Okay. So what should last will and testament contain? All will should contain especially a testator's name, address, and intent to write a will. Testator in the sense is the person who is doing the will. So if I am writing my name, my address, and my intent to write will be there. And instruction for payment of any outstanding debts. So in case at the time of somebody's death, if there are an outstanding debts, how do we need to deal with it? That instruction needs to be there. And identification of any trust. If you're part of any trust, like you can have a medical trust, or you can have a charity trust. If you have any trust, and if you, that needs to be documented. And you need to appoint a executor, trustee, and an alternate. Executor and trustee can be the same. Executor is a person, you will be assigning them a duty, saying that if in my absence, if you need to settle my estate, please do this one. Same, if you're a trustee, is also same person. If your children are there, minor children, a trust will be established in the will itself until they get an legal age of 18 or 21 based on your preference. They can get the money at the time. Until that time, a trustee will be automatically there, formed in there, and then they will be providing for the children's education and expenses and trips and all the things. And a guardianship. Guardian is somebody like a grandmother whom you want, in them to be raised under the guidance of a person. Sometimes they will be sister or sometimes a grandmother. It's up to you whom you want to establish as the guardians to your minor children. If they are over the age of 18, you don't need a guardian. Legally, they are owning themselves, so they don't have to do anything. And proper execution. So writing a piece on a paper or getting it something from the internet doesn't help. Will needs to be properly attested. You need to be having the 2 witnesses signed by the person at the time, and it should be notarized by a person so that it will be legally probated in the court. Sometimes people will bring me, somebody is in a hospital, they handwritten note, they're saying that, "Look, my brother takes all the things." That will not be probated in the court. You need to take it back to again in India, and it needs to be notarized and needs to be probated. It needs to go to the consulate. So many hassles will be there. So it is better you properly document, notarize, and it should be legally memorialized. Tell your family that you love them, and that is exactly what you will be doing by writing a will. So plan your future and the future of your loved ones. That completes the very most important document, final will. And the next one is a durable power of attorney. Who should make your financial decisions if you become mentally or physically incapacitated? So sometimes if your children are old enough, they can be your power of attorney. If they are over age of 21 and they're able to understand and then have the knowledge of doing what they have to do and all. A power of attorney is also called a durable power of attorney. It's a signed document granting a specific individual authority to act on our behalf. Often includes like access to grantors' assets and authority to handle grantors' financial affairs. So if you, as I said, like in the beginning, if you have a power of attorney, you can close real estate, you can open a bank account, you can sell a car, you can dispose of any car or anything. Anything for that, you need to have an authority, and it should be properly drafted and documented as per the local laws of your state you're living. If it continues to be effective as long as the grantor becomes incapacitated or is not available. So as soon as the person is not there, and it ends immediately. That means if the person is no longer alive, then this document gets nullified and you will get referred to the final will. That is the only thing comes after the picture. All other documents written before will be nullified. What do I need with a durable power of attorney? You can have a peace of mind that somebody is there to take care of it if you're not in a capacity to do it. Financial efforts can be properly maintained. And third one important thing is medical directive. This is called also your living will. So people at the age of over the 50, and this is if you don't have, even the doctors are nowadays asking, do you have a medical will? We need to add it to the profile, because any procedure, any operation, surgery, or any in this pandemic situation, any medical need or medical necessity arises, so somebody there to sign and authorize the doctors. And also it's like a HIPAA regulations will be there. So if information needs to be shared to you on your behalf of your dad or mom or somebody or your wife, you need to show this one, that like, okay, I am the authorized person to receive the information and I satisfy the HIPAA regulations. It's a written statement regarding medical treatment for when you're no longer able to provide an informed consent, or the medical directive document also tells the doctors and hospitals where you wish to receive life support or not. So sometimes people met accidents and they're in very dangerous condition, and do they need to continue in their life support, and it's in a no hope situation, how long you need to be continued. So those are all things you can document and see. I understand that people don't want to envision and think through this kind of situations, but it is good to think that we need to properly plan. God forbid it will never be used, that is good. But still, planning is very much important, and it helps you a lot of trauma to the family you left in that dangerous situation. So medical directive is also used in all these statutes, and 3 types of uses advanced medical directives. It instructs doctors, and if you're terminally ill, comatose state, or incapacitated, if you cannot communicate, and sometimes it is common these days like a dementia. People forget themselves. They don't know what kind of procedure they can do it or they cannot do it. They have a diabetic, or they don't have some kind of surgery they got done, everything. So all those information, unless until you have a medical will, they will not disclose to the patient's caretaker. So having medical will definitely helps you. And legal requirements are at least you should be 18 years age, and you should be sound in mind. It should be free will. Nobody is coercing you, nobody threatening you to sign anything, and it should be signed before 2 witnesses. At least 1 witness should not be your own relative or somebody, blood relative. It should be a neutral person, so that it will be balanced. As I said, like, you cannot have a 1 witness should be out of your blood relationship. Same thing, it should not be employed by your attending physician, employee of healthcare facility in which you reside. These are all directives to people. Sometimes we will be joining adult care facilities where you need to have this medical will because the family won't be there, and they need to have something in documents saying that, okay, in case something happens, an emergency, or met with an accident, a trip and fall, generally adults, parents and all, they have this often, and they trip and fall in bathrooms and all. So what kind of process we have established, whom to call and what needs to be done, all those things. So this really helps medical directive. And HIPAA regulations also, it will help. And then, so essentially estate planning in a nutshell is that you should have lost will and testament, which gives a declaration of guardians, children, and then control, and your executor and testator, and power of attorney, and medical power of attorney or medical will, which is gives all the information needed for the doctors. And so estate planning, these 3 documents are one side, and the other one is a trust. As I said in the beginning, that trust is not for everyone. Somebody has a question? Okay. Trusts are like a testamentary trust, charitable, education, life insurance trust, living trust. So all these supplemental planning you can do. It is a need basis. It's not for everybody. You don't need it. Trust is basically a bucket kind of, you can envision. It's a box or a box, so you can put things into there. So if I establish like Sunita Krosuri Trust for myself, if I have a house on Sunita Krosuri name only, then it doesn't cover the advantages of trust. So you open a trust, then you have to fund the trust. You put bank accounts into there, and then trust names, your assets or anything into trust, you have to take the deed and put it into there. So that is something which is an advanced and supplemental planning. It's not for everyone. And people think estate planning is time consuming. Not really. We can do it in 1 week to 2 weeks time. And once you have it, and if you are interested, you can ask me how much it costs, and I can go over you the options. And if you are in not in New Jersey, you can still go through the planning and documents we will prepare, and you can get it notarized in the state you are living. So based on the rules of that state, I will prepare. And if you are in New Jersey, you definitely can come, and we will make sure that the documents are prepared and we review them, and we will get it notarized. We will provide the witness and you can sign them and you can take it from there. And once you have the documents executed, you need to keep them in a safe position. So you can put it in a bank locker and all. You can make copies, or you can scan them and give it to your children, and give it also to your executor or trustee or guardians, anybody whom you used as your as trusted person. They should be also aware of it. So when need comes, they should have a copy so that they can present it and take care of that situation there. And you also need to consult them, because if I say my brother is my executor and my brother doesn't want to be my executor, then that's a problem. So before listing somebody into a trustee, executor, or guardian, consult them, take their consent. So that is very important thing. This thing happened also. So some family wanted their brother and sister to execute, and the brother and executor, they don't want to go through the court hassles and says like they don't want to be there. So then that's a big problem. So always consult with them and then take their consent and give them a copy and make them understand there's nothing they will be providing or they will be spending from their pocket. Nothing. You don't need a bond. You don't need to establish anything. You don't put anything in the court. You don't pay anything. You just helping the other family. That's all, with your time and effort. That's all it is required. Nothing. You don't have to do anything. And another thing is, if you change anything, you need to amend it. Suppose if you removed your sister and put a brother, that needs to be amended. It's you have to change it and give it notarized it, because any changes, it needs to be legally memorialized for court to honor it. That is one thing that people think like, oh, I just changed a name, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Changing a name is a big thing. And another thing is, having somebody from India is okay, or any other country is okay, but at least have one executor or one guardian locally, so that it takes time for people to come from India and take over and provide for your children. So think that, and provide at least one friend or one relative or anybody whom you trust. If nobody is there, at least your attorney will be there. So you have to do that one. That helps your family and in need. And with that, I conclude my presentation. Any questions, anything, you can let me know.
Thank you, Sunita Garu. This is really a great presentation. A lot of things that we don't think and we don't understand are covered. Like you said, many of us think like, yeah, I don't have any estate, so I don't need to do these things and all. But with all the process, procedures, and different documents needed here presented, right? It's a really very helpful and informative here. Thank you.
Sunita Garu, can I ask one question?
Sure.
Yeah. Can you please take out your presentation so we can see everybody?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to mention to everyone. Like, we have about 5 to 10 minutes time here for the Q&A. So please feel free to ask the questions, and also if you want to type your questions in the chat, please feel free to type your question also. So Sunita Garu can explain further. Please, anybody, go ahead.
Okay. So my question is about like I was always under the impression that in US, anything like spouse owns, the other one has the equal right, and there is nothing need to be documented to establish that right. So for example, you said like opening locker, opening bank account, if the other person is not there anymore, so that is also a problem. But is that true? Like I thought like it's automatically like other person will have all the rights on the spouse property.
Good question, Andy. The thing is, like, if you're a primary residence, is a marital residence, principal residence, then your wife will have a equal share. But then again, is she your wife or not? How do you prove? You need,
we
she
have
needs
the
to
marriage
have
certificate. We have.
Yeah, you
we
need to have a marriage
everything.
certificate. You have to
Yeah,
go to
right.
the court to court needs to establish that yeah, she is the wife, and she can have an inheritance, and she will be the heir to the thing. So that needs to be established. So she will, when you are selling a property, yeah, she will have an equal share, and she needs to sign. Without her consent or her execution, you cannot sell. But it doesn't automatically transfer. You need to have a will document. Even though she has an equal share, she needs to establish herself. Suppose there are two marriages, then which marriages will get, which wife is qualified? So those are the things court needs to verify. Is it the only marriage? There are other marriages. Some people will marry in India and come here. So there are so many complications and combinations will be there. So it's not automatically, we know that, yeah, she is wife, but court doesn't know. After some time, somebody comes from India and or some other country, say that, oh, I am his wife too. Then the court will be in trouble, right? So they have to vet it, and they have to give an inheritance certificate establishing that, oh yeah, she is a legally wedded wife, and she is the only wife, and she gets the inheritance. Even you cannot sell a car without, if you're not included in that. And you need to have a power of attorney to sign on your behalf. Husband also needs to sign, right? So in case of husband is not there, then you need to provide that you have the authority to sign on his behalf. If he's deceased, you need to have a will to support that he's no longer there and you are the legal heir.
Okay. But let's assume that it's if you put a will or something as a wife, okay, as a wife, as not a person, but as a wife, it goes to my wife. Still,
yeah,
that is possible, right?
That is possible, because if you are going through an attorney, the attorney will take that IDs, and then we will have the persons come in front of you, signing in front of witnesses. This is a legally memorialized document, right? So that is what is trusted.
What I mean to say is you have to put names, not as a relation.
Yeah, yeah. You have to put a name and ID and everything.
Okay.
You need to
but if you put
sign.
It goes to my wife, then it's still you have a problem.
Yeah, yeah. How many wives? Which wife? These are all. We all know that there is one wife, but the court doesn't believe that. They don't want to take any chance. It needs to be properly documented to avoid litigation, right?
Thank you.
I saw another question from I think Mr. Sashdara, the chart. So Sashdara, you can probably answer a question. I mean, you can raise your question.
I can read the question if you want, Sashi.
So yeah, I was asking what are the costs associated to start with, and also are there any maintenance costs, or like how will that work?
So where are you located?
I'm located in Tampa, Florida.
Tampa, Florida. So what we can do is like the documents, 3 documents can be prepared according to the Florida statutes and regulations, and you can get it printed and you can get it notarized with a witness. And if your wife and husband and minor children, it is $450 for 3 documents for each person. So it's total 6 documents: medical will, power of attorney, and living will for husband, and same things for wife. The children will be included. Those documents can be prepared, and we will send it to you, and you can get it notarized there. So that will be your legal thing. We need to have your email or something. So then we will send you what information we required. And if you send that, we will prepare drafts, and you can review the draft. If everything is good to your satisfaction, then we will finalize. And there won't be any maintenance. Once you have the documents, unless until you wanted to change something, you can do that. And that's why what we do is we will advise people to have a separate addendum kind of spreadsheet where you can document your other properties, because you own an apartment, you sell an apartment, you have a life insurance, you have a vehicle, you do that. So all the changes cannot be documented into the will specifics, because every time you change something, you need to do everything all over. So you have a separate addendum which you maintain, and you can give it to your executor or trustee who can take care of it, and you can run with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any web interface that we can do ourselves, or is just interaction with you through email or something like that?
No web interface, and this is like a just we need a information, we need a documentation, your IDs and all, so that we will validate it and verify, and then we can do it.
Okay.
If you want, we can do a Zoom call. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Based on need basis, we will do it. If you have any questions, you want to go a Zoom session, we can do explaining and reviewing things.
Okay.
Shashidhar and everybody, just for benefit, actually she is also giving that price for all of us as this thing. Otherwise, you would be charging more than that normally.
Yeah, this is a mentioned JNTUH seminar when you do.
Yeah, this is special for us. So please take the benefit out of that.
So it is 450 per.
Personally, I did through her, so she's good. So you can get it done.
Yeah, 450 for the family.
Yeah.
I have a question,
There is
Sunita.
the amendment on that one. There won't be any maintenance cost, right? Right, Sunita Garu?
Amendment, like if you are changing all over, like everybody, then it's a maintenance you have to do all over, because you need to have everybody's signature and all. And if you are just you can maintain like assets, as I said, like a spreadsheet addendum, you can do your own things. You don't have to touch the will. That's fine. You don't need to do that.
Okay.
Yes, Srini, I have a question. Yeah.
Sure.
Can I ask?
Sure.
Nice presentation, Sunita. Very good information. Thanks a lot. This is Srini from Fremont. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you mentioned, for people with businesses, right? Real estate or any kind of operational business. So those are on separate corporations. But so in the will or in the estate planning, you give instructions how they are how those should be inherited, or do you transfer the title of those property? Yeah, you know my question is, right?
Right. So if you have some real estate onto an LLC, that LLC needs to be provided into an addendum saying that you have this partnership or ownership into this LLC. So that needs to be, you can say that like, okay, my son gets 30% of this ownership, or my daughter gets 20%. It's up to you. My wife gets this much. That kind of instructions, you can do that.
So that addendum goes into the operating agreement of LLC or estate planning. Where does it go?
Estate planning.
Estate planning. Okay. So you're giving instructions basically.
Yeah, instruction. Yeah, instruction.
So no. So if there is a trust also, you don't change the title, ownership of title into trust, right?
So if you want to put into the trust, as I said, like trust is like a empty vessel. You have to fund it. You have to fund it. If you wanted to safeguard your apartment, business complex, or whatever, then you have to change the deed into the trust name.
Right.
Then it is not. That's a concept called veil piercing. That's what called. So some owner to company, they pierce the wheel and then go get into the core and get an asset. If it is a big lawsuit or something. So that veil piercing, if you wanted to protect that estate from the shielding people from everyone, you need to have it change it. So that is, if you think that much of a threat is there, there is a potential lawsuit is expecting or something is impending, you change that and put it into a trust so that nobody can touch it. It will be in the trust. And if somebody sues you, they can claim zero asset from you.
Right. Otherwise, simple instructions in estate planning.
If it is like, if you can, suppose you have an LLC owning a apartment, so you can document that this is LLC I own, and in this LLC, I want this ownership of this LLC should be distributed in so and so order, like that.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
A few more minutes. If anybody wants to have any ask any question here, feel free, please.
Sunita Garu, sorry, Sunita ji, one quick question. Not everybody may be knowing people like you. I mean, it might be difficult for everyone to come across. But is there any baseline document where nobody has to like pay anything? I just for a general public reason, is there any baseline document where they can prepare before they meet a lawyer?
Yeah, there are, if you search the web, you can find some information. Then again, you have to have a state specific information because rules of inheritance vary. So it is better to be going through a proper procedure, because this is your assets, and it's dealing with like you will low cost to high maintenance things, you will say. If you wanted to save a few hundreds, you will be end up paying thousands in attorney fees. So what you do is you're not a professional, you cannot properly cover all the scenarios, and you will be end up losing more than gaining, saving.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. No.
Yeah, I have one question, Sunita Garu.
Sure.
So, like, especially we have a lot of assets in India, assume, then that has to be a separate living will or trust you mentioned. Can you provide some, how do we, because we don't know the legal process in India, how do you guide us to do such things?
So
from
if
here?
in India, from here, you cannot do, you need to have a local attorney. And in India, you have to go through the process there. Like if you're owning an asset or anything, that can be supplemented as an addendum for the will here. But from here, you cannot document anything from there, because there is no reciprocity for Indian government to US government. You know that, right? We don't have a citizenship or anything like that. So you cannot have covered everything. If you are an NRA, you don't have certain rights. So if you are a citizen of US, you cannot own agricultural land in India. You cannot buy them. So those are all some limitations and restrictions are
Take
there.
for example, when you are not a citizen, you bought the agriculture land. What happens to that? Is there any grandfather's law in there, or it's not going to work? Let's say you bought when you have a green card, and after you became a citizen of the US, that agriculture land, what happens to it?
You have to declare that an agricultural land, and that means you need to have an LLC in India, and the LLC can own. You cannot own if you are become a citizen. The grandfather clause won't work. So it is like, suppose
being a citizen, you can create an LLC in India and put that land into LLC instead of on your name.
Yeah, even parental gift deed and all to some extent is okay, but if you need to declare the value and then you have to pay taxes on it, it is a big hassle. So you need to really go through with a proper attorney in India and have that documented. And if you own a lot of land in India, then agricultural land, you have to have an LLC, and the LLC can own it, not you, and you can be the major stakeholder of the LLC. So there are some loopholes, and there are some formal things you can do so that it doesn't have to be, you don't have to lose the ownership, but you can have to change the ownership such a way that it abide by the rules and regulations and tax laws. And Anil Garu may be telling me tax perspective.
Sunita, I have a question similar to that topic. Our parental properties, and after they pass away, that we get some, inheritance. And so, since the parents are not there now, the distribution to the kids, like a brother, sister, whatever, how do we treat? Do we need a CPA or an attorney there, or how do we get the money officially? Is it taxable here?
Yeah, you have to declare it here. If you get an asset from in India and then the worth is there, you have to, if you're getting a rental income or any, if you sell that, you have to declare, and there are rules, and you have to abide by that. And distributing the asset, yeah, you have to consult a local attorney. And if it is right now, I think all siblings get equal share, no matter, even though your ownership is more, or during your parents' time, you put more money into that, unless until they don't contest and agree to it, that is fine. Like if they wanted to give you 70%, that's fine. Otherwise, if they wanted to contest and say that this is all parental and all siblings needs to be equally, then it has to be equal.
Right.
You need to have a local attorney to draft that. And that bill needs to be registered in India. India is different a little bit. So there are so much fraud is there. So they wanted to register and keep a copy there in the things, and it's a different process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. In the interest of time, we have some more questions, but maybe if time permits, we can take towards the end. But now, thanks again, Sunita Garu. But I like to welcome Mr. Sudhakar Uppala, Secretary, the JNTUH Association, to deliver the message of thanks to Ms. Sunita Garu.
Okay.
Thank you, Srinivas, and good morning and good evening to JNTUH alumni located all over the world. And Sunita ji, it was very, very interesting and very important topic you covered today. And we all have the hard-earned money. And the question is, how do we really make sure that the money, what we earn with all the hard work, how does it go to the right people or right place? So this gives a really good eye-opener. In fact, I have been thinking of going for a will, and it didn't happen until last year. But this year, like I started working on it. I didn't know that you are doing it, but before that, I actually got it done recently. So, but this is actually, I got more information now about what I did and how I did. I have more visibility now with this session. And so it's very interesting that today's topic, we have the worst case scenario, which is covered by you, and the best case scenario is going to be covered by Mr. Anil. So if you don't have the wealth, like how do you really make the wealth, and how do you really manage your wealth, and how do you manage the taxes? So we have both ends are covered in this meeting. And of course, the second part is going to be covered soon. But this is very, very, very useful. And you explained about the will and testament and durable power of attorney, medical directive. I think medical directive is extremely important. Given this pandemic scenario, we do not know how the things happen, and God forbid, you or someone is in the hospital and they are stuck. They don't know what to do. So this will and trust will help a lot. So, I mean, that's, again, we always think of the best case scenario, but the Indian community, a lot of people, they don't think of worst case scenario. They always think of best case scenario. That could be the reason why 80% haven't really gone to that. But that really shows like, we need a lot more awareness on the will and trust, and hopefully this will help some more people to really think about the will and trust and work towards it. And thank you once again for a very great, very resourceful and excellent session. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
With this, I would like to welcome Mr. Viswa Narahari, Treasurer, JNTUH Alumni Association, to provide some introduction to our second speaker, Mr. Anil Grandi. Viswagar, please go ahead.
Thank you, Srinivas Garu. And it's a great honor for me to introduce Anil Grandi Garu. I know him personally through my friend circle in New Jersey, Edison. I met him that time personally, where only some 4 to 5 people were there that time. I felt that day he was really, really a jewel. And today he is more than a jewel. He much, much more. He is a sun in the sky for me. I mean, that's what I'm seeing at him. And before you hear from Ms. Anil, he has 17 plus years of experience in financial profession as financial controller, CFO, and other senior executive positions. Anil, we call him Anil in our circle. Anil worked in Amazon, Starbucks, PwC, and Sun Edison. His mission is to help small business owners through tax planning, CFOs, and wealth management increase their revenue, profits, and net worth. Anil is a Forbes Finance Council member and have written many articles on finance/tax topics. Also, Anil is a guest speaker for many media channels and TV shows. And I welcome Anil again to enlighten us on our tax topics. And at the same time, all of you might be having a question, what I have to do that billions of rupees I have in India? Do not forget to ask that question in the end. With this, I welcome again Anil to enlighten all of us. Thank you. Anil garu, unmute cheyandi meedi.
Anil garu, please go ahead. You are on mute.
Thank you. Yes. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vishwa garu. It was such a wonderful, nice introduction. Thank you for all your words. It made my day today. Thank you very much. And first of all, thank you very much for this opportunity, Rani garu, Rani ji. Thanks a lot. I always has some inside intention. Okay, JNTUH universities or bigger universities. Okay, Andhra University, JNTUH universities. I have a lot of respect to those universities, and it's my privilege today to meet the alumni from the JNTUH universities. It's my privilege. It is a great day for me, and it's an opportunity for me today to share my knowledge with so many intellectuals today. Thank you. And this is a very important conversation we should have is about the taxes, repatriation of funds. This is one of the best time in the entire year, because we all are in the process of either filing of taxes or at least paying the taxes. So whenever we pay some taxes, we have that small pain in our heart or in mind. Hey, I am paying so much of money. Yes, throughout the year, we spend more than 2,000 hours to make our money, to earn money. It can be $200,000, $500,000, or $1 million, whatever money. But how much time we are spending to save that money? It's not only about earning. What you earn, if you don't know how to protect or how to save, there is no fun. Just all money will be just evaporated, simply. And on average, our tax rates are 30 to 50% based on which state you are living. So when you're spending 2,000 hours plus in a year to make the money, whatever you're making, and you are paying 40-50% as taxes, now you tell me how much time you need to spend to save that money. At least 1,000 hours. But interestingly, people don't even spend 1 to 2 hours in a whole year to understand or to save that money. So if you don't, you see, Tax Act is the same for everyone. It is the same even for Jeff Bezos or Donald Trump or even for me or for you. It's the same for every billionaire or every normal person. Opportunities are the same, acts are the same. But only some people are successful in building the net worth. Whatever you're making, instead of paying 30, 40, 30, 40, 50, 30, 40, 50, then when do you build your net worth? So taxes are very, very important. You cannot escape from the taxes. You may close your business. You may give divorce to your wife or spouse. You may take the retirement, but you cannot escape from the taxes. Those are the part and parcel of our life. But how many people are spending time to learn that small thing? It's very simple. At least you are not expected to become an expert, but at least you should know that at least you should do 2 things. It's a common message. Either at least you learn what are the key things, key strategies or key topics in the taxes, or at least have a right professional who can work for you. You don't, when you run a business, You don't need to know everything, every technicality of your business. You just have the team. In the same way, having the right person in your hand is very, very important. So with this background, let's get into our topic today. I'm sharing my screen. I'm not sure how much time I have, really, because I consider this as a privilege to connect with these intellectuals. I try to cover to the extent possible, but if I'm running out of time, feel free to stop me, and I will try to go a bit faster so that we can cover more. The next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, every minute, I will ensure that for whatever you are investing here, there are some takeaways. So, and if you have any more questions, because when I go a bit speeder to cover a bit more topic, if you have any questions, I'm very much happy to take up those questions at the end of the session. So a small disclaimer, as we are legally licensed professionals, whatever I'm sharing today, I'm just sharing with my community, my knowledge. Please don't consider this as a tax advice or legal advice. Please work with your professional tax guy or finance professional or an attorney before you implement any of those strategies. So as Vishwa Garu briefly introduced about me, this is a snapshot of my experiences. I worked in Amazon, Starbucks, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and also Sun Edison. It was the world's largest renewable energy company, and I was the finance controller there. And recently, I'm the first Telugu-speaking Forbes Finance Council member, and I am also very recently recognized as top 20 dynamic CEOs in the entire US. It's a great privilege for me. And I have written so many articles. You can just Google search about me. You will find a lot more details about my expertise. And I am also the Forbes Finance Council member. I am an expert panel member also. And as I said, I am the only Indian on the top 20 CEOs of USA for the year 2022. Yeah. Let's start the topic with the repatriation of funds from India. As Sunita covered great about Indian assets and how do you disclose, how do you include in the will and trust. So this can be an extension to that. So Indian government has introduced a scheme called $1 million scheme. You might have been having so many doubts what to do with the money in India. How do I get back that money to India? What are the limits for that? How much money you can bring from India? In what situations you can bring it from India, money from India? So answering to all those questions, Indian RBA says that, RBA and FEMA says that if you meet all these conditions, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to cover those conditions in the next slides. You can bring $1 million per year. That is from April 1st to March 31st. Our India financial year is works like that, calendar year, financial year. So up to $1 million, any of us can bring from India to US if you meet all these conditions. So this scheme is exclusively for non-resident Indians, and it includes OCS and foreign nationals. So you can bring up to $1 million. If you want more than $1 million, if you want to bring in any one financial year, then you need to get an RBI approval. Under 1 million, no RBI approval, no RBI approval. There are some documentation is required. As long as you have the documentation, come on, you can bring it back. It's only a myth, or it's only a fear. Many of you, or in general, many of our NRIs have a small fear. Can I bring money from India to here or not? If I bring, do I need to pay a lot of taxes or not? So it's very simple, very simple. I'm trying to make it very simple. You can bring $1 million when you move funds from India to here. No taxes to be paid, no incremental taxes to be paid. I will show you what has to be done. Simple. As long as you are meeting all the conditions, bring the money from India to here. It's a very simple. Click the button from India bank account to US bank account. Such a simple exercise. So all remittances, okay, all remittances, so you can bring money from India to here, only the basic condition, only when you take care of the tax payments in India. Because you are moving funds from India, you need to satisfy Indian government. You need to pay their share of revenue or share of taxes to government, saying that, come on, you made $100,000. Today you need to say that, come on, this is what the taxes I need to pay to Indian government. Pay the taxes. The day you pay the taxes, your money will get the freedom. So first, you need to pay taxes in India when you want to bring money. Applicable, what are the taxes applicable? And under this 1 million scheme, there are few types of transactions are listed down. Number one, sale proceeds of property. If you're selling any property and if you're getting that sale proceeds, yes, that money is eligible under this 1 million scheme. Bank balances. If you have any bank balances in your bank account, you can bring it. And superannuation benefits, or if you are getting proceeds of insurance plans, if you're getting any money from maybe from the provident funds, or maybe from the insurance policies maturity, or shares and security sale, or if you are selling any shares, or if you have any securities, you can bring that money from India to here. And the money has to be deposited in your NRO account. That means if you don't have an NRO account, you need to open an NRO account, get the money deposited in that account. From there, you can bring it to here. And very important point, whenever you're selling a property, the buyer, who before paying the money to you, he has an obligation to deduct TDS, tax deducted at source. He has to deduct money from, on an average, it ranges from 20% to 27% based on how much amount he's paying you. It is an obligation for him to deduct some money before he's paying to you. So if, like example, if you're expecting some $100,000 of sale proceeds, you may be getting less than $80,000 because he has to deduct that money on your name and he has to deposit it to Indian income tax department. You can get back that money if you don't need to pay taxes. Then when you can file your taxes and you can get back that money from Indian income tax department. And you can escape this TDS by submitting a form called Form 13. So even before you do the sale transaction, you need to submit an online form. It's called Form 13. You can submit a form saying that, okay, I am going to sell this property. And if you think that you don't need to pay 20% or 25% as taxes, then you can go and tell to the government saying that, hey, I am selling this property, but he is deducting 25%. I don't want him to deduct 25%. Then you can, if you can tell him what is your tax liability, only that percentage, or if it's a zero, if you don't need to pay any taxes at all, then you can say that, tell to the government that, please give me a certificate so that that buyer won't deduct any TDS from the sale proceeds. This process will take approximately 45 days. So you need to initiate submitting the Form 13 before at least 45 days selling the property. So then you will get the full money. Otherwise, they will deduct some money. Then from there, from India bank account, the money has to be deposited only in US, only into your account. Like example, I sold some property in India. I'm getting money, but I cannot transfer that money to my friend's account. I cannot say that, hey, I need to pay some money to my friend's account. Why can't you directly deposit that money into my friend's account in America? No, that is not allowed. In simple, in India, account has to be owned by you. In US, the receiving party, account has to be owned by you. So once the money gets deposited in your NRO account, from your NRO account to US, you can transfer the money, either online transfer, or you can even ask your banker to do the transfer. And to do this transfer, you need to submit a file, a form called Form 15CA NCB. It is a CPA, a Chartered Accountant certification in India, saying that, hey, this money is a tax paid money. So as I said, the first point, you have to pay the payment, you have to clear the tax responsibilities in India. So the CPA, the Chartered Accountant from India, has to stamp saying that this is a tax paid money and free to go. If he can give the certificate, you can transfer the money. It's a very, very easy process. You need to submit this form 15CA, is a self-declaration saying that this I cleared all the tax payments in India. And form 15CB, it has to be certified by a chartered accountant in India. If you submit these two forms to the banker, boom, they will transfer the money to your bank account. That's such a simple process. It's only a myth that people think it's so complex. It's a very, very simple process. Then, okay, I covered about sale process. If you are selling a property, come on, yes. What happens if you get some inheritance or gifts? If you receive some assets or any money or any other gifts from your family members, from your parents, from your brother, sister, anyway, from anyone, if you receive this money, come on, you can transfer that money also from India to US up to $1 million. But the condition is, when you want to transfer the money from any person, the maximum you can transfer in a year is only $250,000. It means if I receive some inheritance from my parents, up to $250,000 inheritance from one person, or a gift of up to $250,000 from one person, can be transferred from India to US. Like that, it can go up to 1 million. So $250,000 per person is the limit. You can get gift from 4 persons. Total is $1 million, and that money can be transferred from India to US. And in US, from India, okay, from the tax perspective, when you receive a gift from any relatives in India, it is a tax-free transaction. It means if my sister wants to pay me a 1 crore rupees, I'm happy to take it, no tax responsibilities. In the same way, if my parents wants to, after inheritance, after them, if I get any properties or any assets, any money, anything, if I get it, those are tax-free. So in India, if you're getting a gift from any of the relatives, it is a tax-free. Then in US, so Indian taxes, we are clear. In US, the receiver doesn't need to pay taxes at all. Receiver, because I am a recipient here. The receiver doesn't need to pay any taxes. In US rules, the giver has to pay the taxes. So because I am getting the tax, I am getting the gift from India, I don't need to pay taxes. But in US, if you receive gifts for more than $100,000, you need to file form called Form 3520. You need to file this form with an IRS saying that I received maybe 1 crore rupees. I received so much of money, 1.4 or anything more than $100,000. You need to inform to IRS here. What happens if I receive less than $100,000? No reporting required. If my sister gives me 20 lakhs rupees, do I need to report? No. My wants to give me 50 lakhs rupees, do I need to report? No, because it is less than $100,000. If it's more than $100,000, I need to file Form 3520 in America. And gifts are completely tax-free. Then estate taxes. So then I'm just from India, I'm going to talk about US. Okay, so from the US perspective, anyone can give gift to anyone up to $12.06 million in their lifetime. It means if Rani wants to give me a $1 million as a gift, I'm happy to accept it. He doesn't need to pay any taxes. I don't need to pay any taxes. It's a tax-free transaction. It is not a deductible transaction. It is not an expense. It's a tax-free transaction. Or if Vishwa wants to give me maybe some $10,000, he can give me, I will accept it. That's it. But up to $16,000, any person can give gift to any person in US, no reporting is required. If Vishwa wants to give me some maybe $20,000, if it's more than $16,000, I need to file gift tax return to IRS along with my tax return. So summarizing here, I can get a gift from anyone up to $16,000. No reporting is required. Or I can give gift to anyone. How many number of people? It's a one-to-one. Vishwa can give gift $10,000 to me, $10,000 to Rani, $10,000 to Suresh, or like that. So, and he doesn't need to report. All this recipient also doesn't need to report. So it's America is a more friendly country. The reporting requirements are very, very low compared to, or the compliances are very low compared to our India. So, and if I keep giving gifts to anyone, like up to $12.06 million in my lifetime, I can give gift to anyone, but no federal taxes are applicable. I hope you are clear. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take up this. So what documentations are required? So as I was saying that we need to submit a Form 15CA, Form 15CB, and Form A2. It's like it's a small form. When you go to the bank, they say that, come on, tell me from whom to whom you are transferring those bank account details. It's called Form A2. Form 15CA is a self-declaration saying that, yes, I paid all the taxes. Form 15CB, it says a chartered accountant stamping saying that, yes, these taxes are paid, money free to go. And so those are the documentation required. So summarizing it, whenever you sell it, whenever you have some money in India, first identify if you need to pay any taxes in India on that money, even before you want to touch that money to move from India to here. Then first identify how much taxes has to be paid and pay taxes in India. Then submit Form A2. It's just a form submission to the bank saying that, hey, transfer money from this account to that account. And you also need to talk about from where you got this money. And Form 15CA, Form 15CB, a chartered accountant has to sign and give it to you. And give these two documents to the banker, remit funds from India to US. Funds are received. Then in US, you have to report this transaction in the sale transaction. If there is any sale transaction, you have to report in US. If you're just transferring the money from India to US, from your bank account to your bank account again here, no reportings are required. You are transferring the money from one pocket to other pocket. If there is any sale transaction, then you have to report in US. Then when you report in US, you need to do that. Example, I'm selling a property in India. I already paid taxes in India. Now I need to disclose this in US also and do the calculations as I have done the tax calculations as I have done the transaction in US itself. Then you can take the international tax credit. We have a double taxation avoidance agreement, DTAA, double tax avoidance agreement between US and India. It means you pay taxes at only one place. There is no double taxation. So whatever taxes you paid in India, you get as a international tax credit. So compute taxes in US. Like example, you have a tax liability of $10,000 in US. You say that, hey, in India, I already paid this money. Come on, please give me tax deduction. So that is how but you don't need to worry. Just understand the concept. CPAs or an accountants can handle it if they are knowledgeable enough. And if you receive for more than $100,000 as a gift, if a gift, then you have to file Form 3520 along with the tax return. And please, important, very, very important, file Form F bar. If you have more than $10,000 in any foreign financial accounts at any time in India, even it was there even for 1 minute, 1 second in any of your bank account, you have to file F bar. So considering the shortage of the time, I'm not getting rid of the F bar. Maybe if I get some opportunity some other day, definitely I will talk about F bar. That's about repatriation of funds. It's very simple. You can get $1 million as long as you pay taxes in India, get the chartered accountant stamp from there, boom, that's it. So simple. Then next one, tax planning. So as Vishwa was mentioning in the beginning, how billionaires are, what billionaires are doing the money, how billionaires are saving the taxes. This is a snapshot of how billionaires are paying taxes. If you look into that, Warren Buffett pays 0.1% average, or 0.98, Elon Musk 3.24, or Michael Bloomberg 1.3. How many billions of dollars assets they have, but they are not paying enough pay taxes. Not enough, but they're legal. They're not paying. But how much taxes we are paying? 30%, 35%, 40%, 45%, 50% per year. The reason is tax code is the same for even Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or for Anil Gandhi or for Vishwa or for Rani or Dr. Hari. But they know how to optimize it. We don't know how to optimize it. Even in 2017, I believe, our Donald Trump, there was a news article in New York Times saying that Donald Trump paid $1,000 as taxes. $1,000. He's a billionaire. One of the media reporter asked him, how you are paying so much of taxes when we are paying 30, 40, 50% taxes? He said one thing. Tax code is the same for everyone. I have team, or I know how to use it. You don't know how to use it. You don't have to be an expert, but at least you need to know, or at least you need to have a person who can help you on designing the strategies. So people think the taxes are very high now, 30%, 40%, 50%. The fact is, historically, we are at one of the lowest tax rates in the American history. If you look into the last 100 years of American history, the highest tax rate was 94%. 94% was the highest tax rate. It means you are making $100,000, you are paying 94% as taxes. Of course, there are income limits. I was talking about highest tax bracket. The reason is, at the time, our GDP debt to every government has a debt. Debt to GDP ratio was very, very high. It was 121%. In 1940, 1950, there were world wars. So how government gets the money? So GDP is like our income, our revenue. Debt is what our response.
Hello. On Biodolation.
Yeah, Kumar, can you please mute him? Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. So 94% was the highest tax rate because government need of money at the time. Later, the debt has come down. Our tax rates have also come down. But debts having started going up again, but the tax rates are not going up because of the political pressure. Right now, our US debt is $29 trillion. Our revenue is less than $4 trillion. So our debt is $29 trillion and our debt to GDP ratio is 127.35%. If you see here, earlier it was 121, but now it is already 127. Still, we are paying a 37% tax rate. Highest tax rate is 37. What do you think? In the next 5 years, by 2025, go and check, go and do some research. The expected debt is $50 trillion. So, and recently in the last 1-2 years, American government printed $3 trillion extra money just to take care of the COVID pandemic. So what's happening? All this debt is going up. How government will get the money? In the future, government is going to increase the tax rates. Already at Congress, Biden already submitted to increase the tax rates. So there is already a bill on the proposed bill on the Congress table right now. So the tax rates are going to shoot up. If the tax rates are like this now, what is going to happen by the time of our retirement? By the time of 60 or 70, if a world war comes up, what happens to our tax rates? So, and you all may be thinking, I have some $500,000 in 401k, or you may have some lot of properties, you may get a rent. But think, if you need to pay taxes 30, 40, 50% or 70, 80, who knows what tax rate it could be? You need to plan your taxes more proactively, not reactively. So this is what the tax current scenario, and this is how the tax outlook is. So taxes will not go away from you. You need to pay taxes. So to pay taxes, the first important thing is file taxes on time. The due date to file tax returns are this coming Monday. We are very, very busy actually. This is the busiest time for us in the whole year. But when Raniji asked me that come and talk here, I said, okay, come on, it's an opportunity for me to connect with the intellectuals. So I took some time today. So April 18, this coming Monday is the tax returns filing due date. You might have already filed taxes. If not, at least file extension. If you file an extension, you get 6 months time to file extension. But extension is only for filing your taxes, not to pay taxes. You need to pay taxes by April 8th, if not April 18th. If not, you will be paying penalty for interest of 0.5% for every month. So if you don't know how much exact taxes you need to pay, at least pay some estimate on estimate basis based on your previous track record. Just pay some estimated taxes. You can get back that refund once you file taxes. So filing taxes on time is very, very, very important. Be compliant and be happy. Then the most important, and many people ask me, how do I save taxes, Anil? I am on W2. The first and most important answer to them is, if you are on W2, the opportunity to save taxes is very, very, very limited. You need to continue, you will continue to pay taxes at 30, 40, 50% on average. So what should I do? There are so many tax strategies are there. But considering the shortage of the time, I might not be able to talk all, but just I want to talk about only one topic here today. I will skip other ones because I don't have a lot of time, but definitely I will be happy to come some other day and talk about taxes. The first and most important thing is start a business. If you are not having a business, you are missing a golden opportunity. America is a land of opportunities. It's up to you how to use the resources. I was working for Amazon. I converted I was working for Amazon full time. I was getting very good salary, but I have a passion to help the small business owners and also individuals on the taxes. So I converted my passion to the business. In the same way, I recommend you to every one of you to think about how you can convert your passion into the business. It can be a side gig. You don't have to quit your job today, but start doing something in the side. You may think that, no, I am making a lot of money already. I'm already making some $400,000. I'm having a luxury life now. I don't need more. Doing the business is not to make money, to reduce the tax burden also. How starting a business helps you on tax burden, reduce the tax burden. I will cover it in the next slides. But whatever it is, do something on the side. Something. It can be even running a daycare, or even it can be a freelancing, or it can be a real estate agent, or there are so many which I will cover it. Because once you have the opportunity, once you start the business, they are opening up the doors. IRS says that if anyone is doing some good work, they want to encourage. Come on, guys, you are doing a good job. I want to encourage. IRS says that if you do start the business, this is what you can do. If you are an only W2, you cannot claim any tax deductions except very limited, 1 or 2. But if you have this business, come on, let's start the fun of what you can do at the business. If you're already having the business, you are supposed to deduct all these expenses. If not, please go and talk to your CPA or an accountant. If not, change your accountant. Not a problem. There are hundreds and thousands of accountants are there. It's only a myth that you cannot change your accountant. Come on, what are you can do it? You can claim your home office deductions. You can some part of your home, maybe 10%, 15%, 20%. How much percentage of your home per space in your home you are using for your office works, even though you are having an office outside? If you're working from home, you can claim some percentage of expenses like utilities, insurance, HOA, security, mortgage interest, property taxes, travel expenses. Whenever you travel, wherever you go, you can go and attend seminars, or in-person meetings, clients, vendors, or suppliers. Wherever you want to go, go and all these expenses are 100% tax deductible. Meals categories. If you are going and meeting your customer, vendor, supplier, or prospect, all these meals expenses are 100% tax deductible. Minimizing depreciation. If you have a vehicle, if you are incurring any expenses for properties, you can claim depreciations. And healthcare strategies. If you have any health insurance expenses or out-of-pocket expenses, these are deductible. And accountable plans. On top of that, if you are having anything expenses like computers, laptops, monitors, Apple Watch or iPad or telephone, software, tax consultancy, accounting, research, attending trainings, anything, all these expenses can be tax deductible. Please note that, please don't misuse this opportunity. As long as they are legitimate, if you have the proper supporting documentation to prove that those are business expenses, all these expenses can be deducted. And once you deduct all these expenses, your effective tax rate, including your W-2 income, will go down substantially. On average, assume if you are having a 40% tax rate, I'm not surprised even it goes to 25%. The effective tax rate will go down if you have some side business in the side. There are so many opportunities out there. And on top of that, if you are having a successful business, you can claim all your auto expenses like repairs, maintenance, insurance, and you can also claim depreciation. You can claim up to 100% depreciation. Like example, if you want to buy Land Rover, or if you want to buy model Tesla X car, $145,000 on road, 100%, $145,000 is a flat tax reduction in the same year. If the vehicle is more than 6,000 pounds, 100% cost of the vehicle is deductible in the tax as a one-time tax deductible in the same year. Then if you are having a 1099 contractor, still you are considered as a business owner only. So if you are having a business under single member LLC, or if you are having a 1099 contractor, consider converting that into S corporation so that you can save 15.3% taxes on your net income. And there are so many other opportunities out there. Only first thing is you need to think that yes, you can do, and you can be an entrepreneur, and you can be an entrepreneur, and you can be a real estate agent, you can be a photographer, you can be a mortgage agent, or you can even be a financial advisor. Help your community, help your family, help your friends by offering retirement planning, financial guidance, or many other things you can do it. If anyone wants to become a financial advisor, come and reach out to me. We are training so many people, and we're happy to train you guys also. But any business opens up the doors to save taxes, to build your network. So considering the shortage of the time, I'm skipping other strategies. Maybe some other day I will cover it, and I'm just getting into So the secret sauce for successful business decision making is working with a right professionals, working with a right team. If you really want to really save your money rather than paying a lot of taxes, unnecessarily overpaying the taxes, rather that money can be invested into your, maybe for your retirement, maybe for your kids' education, or maybe for anything else, or maybe you can go for you can meet your long-term goals. work with the right professional, right team members are very, very important. If you are a business owner, I can design a self-exclusive, proactive tax planning, tax road plan for your tax savings. I can prepare a report exclusively customized for you. I can design a plan for you. When I design the plan, I go by values. I don't compromise on the values. And I design the strategies legally, morally, and ethically. And if I'm not able to help you, you don't need to pay me even a single dollar as my fee. That is the confidence which I have on my subject. Then many people think that changing a CPA or an accountant is very complex. No, it's only a myth. Very, very easy to change them. It's just you just need to have last 2 years of tax returns, and you need to have access to your books of accounts. If an accountant is not helping you, come on. If not that account, some other person. And we are the only person, I should say that maybe a couple of other organizations, I can proudly say that in the entire Indian community, we are the only firm who offers a tax planning for free when you file taxes with us if you are an individual. You can go and check with any friend in entire America, maybe California, Texas, New Jersey, New York, Florida, Tampa, wherever you want. Their CPAs don't sit with them after filing the tax returns, but we do that. That is where we are unique. We've grown by 2,400 times in the last 2 years, because we offer unique services. No one can beat us. So if you want us to file taxes, we are very much happy to file taxes. We offer for individuals, we offer a free tax planning, and in the future, if you get any notices, tax, anything, we take care. You don't need to pay us anything in the future again. Then if you need, any of you guys need a financial guidance, financial planning, like estate planning, investment, tax savings, college funding, retirement planning, protection planning, we are very much happy to help. It's a free for the community. We don't even charge a single dollar for these services. And thank you very much for this opportunity. So these are my contact details. I will also share the contact details in the chat box. And I do also have an exclusive business owners WhatsApp group. If you are not part of that group, please join. There is a lot of information always we share. Thank you very much for this opportunity to the JNTU, to the alumni team. I'm open up for the questions if any.
Very good, yeah, very good. Yeah, thank you. I got a great seminar here with a lot of technical details and lot of new things also. Thank you. So we are running a little late here, but any questions? Please feel free. Anybody, like for 2 to 3 minutes, we can continue on the question answer sessions here, please.
Yeah, so Srini, if you can moderate that one by one, I think I'll ask the first one. Otherwise, I can go next.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, Anil Garu, this is a fantastic presentation. I think you have covered the whole gamut very, very effectively in such a short time, especially in the busiest time of the year. I'm actually shocked that you're here. I really am. I'm sure others are as well. So
that shows my love to the JNTUH alumni.
Absolutely, it does, and seriously, we thank you a lot. But my quick question is, and Kumar, this is a fantastic recommendation for bringing such an eloquent and accomplished speaker. So first of all, how do you help people in other places? Do you have offices all over the country, or is it remote most of the time?
Good question, Praveen. We have clients in almost in every state in America, and we have, as of now, we have office in Seattle. I am based out of Seattle, but we have licenses to file taxes in the entire US, and we use encrypted security portals. As of for other people, for other locations, it is a remote. But we are starting our offices in Dallas and Atlanta in the next 2-3 months, and we are also expanding to many other states in this year and next year.
Got it, great. If you could also include the WhatsApp group information in the group chat. I saw that you posted yours.
Yes, I also shared the WhatsApp group link also there. People can just join in the group.
Perfect. Yeah, I just found it. Thank you. Yeah, I know the time is short. I do have other questions, but I'll use.
No, I have time if you want. I mean, if you have time, I'm happy to answer the questions.
Yeah, I'll probably come after the others. Go ahead with the next question. Yeah.
ahead. Vishwagar, do you have any questions, Vishwagar? Okay, yeah, Srini Bhattu has one question. Please, Srini, go ahead.
Yeah, Anil, good presentation. I think you gave a lot of information. This is Srini Bhattu from Fremont, California. Hello?
Yes, Srini garu. I'm following.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I am a business owner, but my sons are now both are W-2 earners. So both are in the single and higher tax bracket. And before also, I get from friends who are in W-2 and how to minimize the taxes. Okay, I figured out S-Corp is the one good vehicle for adding. So that the thought is there, okay, from taxation purpose, okay, especially for W-2 business owners. Okay, so the idea. Let me correct me if I am wrong. Okay, and so the sons or any W-2 earners will become the member of the S-Corp for some legitimate business, right? So that business should have some revenue, right? Otherwise, the revenue minus expense, normal business. In addition, other expenses you can include. Eventually, our attempt is to get some business losses. That way, proportionately, it goes into the members. Is that right?
Okay. 50% right, 50% not. I will correct it. I will rephrase what is right. So then you will understand. Having a business in the side, it is always great. For suppose if we have any losses in that business, like example, I am a real estate agent. I am working as an Amazon, maybe on Amazon at W-2, and I'm also working as a real estate agent in the side. If I have any losses from the real estate business, those losses can be adjusted with my W-2. That is a good thing. That is what you said, business, any loss, if there are any losses, that can be adjusted. The second thing, S-Corp is a right means answer is no, unless you have a net profit of $50,000. Otherwise, it is not even worth of recommending. So when you have a business, to do business in America, you don't need to have an LLC at all. LLC will not help you to save taxes at high level. LLCs are only to a liability risk mitigation or liability protection. Because you have an LLC, you don't get any tax reductions. And when you want to start a business, you can just start as a sole proprietor. Or if you are very firm on, yes, you will have a very good business, then you can start an LLC. Up to $40,000-$50,000 net profit. Don't think into S corporation, because S corporation has an additional compliances, and you need to file a separate tax return for S corporation. So I hope for your kids, I think if they are doing some small side business, they don't need to have an S corporation. Just they can start a business.
And the idea is S-Corp is that LLC in California, you have LLC taxes on the net revenue, gross revenue. Okay? In S-Corp, that is not there, I believe, right?
No. S-Corp also you have, sir. Yes, any LLC. For LLC, to become an LLC, first you need to create an LLC. To have an S corporation, you need to have an LLC first. So for every S corporation or LLC, you need to pay $800, I believe.
And that is there, but in California, let's say, I have my LLC business in real estate. So I need to pay certain taxes on the gross revenue of rental, okay? Whereas in S-Corp, if I have a different business, there's nothing like a tax on gross revenue. It's all passed through to the...
So you might be referring to the gross, okay. California state income taxes are different. You might be referring to some other local taxes, like example in Washington, we have B&O taxes, business and occupancy taxes on the revenue. Okay, so you might be referring to some county taxes. We can talk offline. I can help you there.
Okay, got it. Okay. So you do a lot of these tax savings plans for W-2s with
no, W-2 we don't do the tax planning, but as a service. But if you file taxes with us, we will do it for free. So
got it. Okay, thanks, Anil.
Another question from Shashidhar says, do you recommend any good knowledgeable CS in Hyderabad?
Yes, I can recommend. I give some recommendations. Just if you can be part of my WhatsApp group, you can ping me. I will share the contact details. Yes, I am a chartered accountant also, so I have a lot of network, and I do also work with a lot of professionals in there, because 95% of my clients are Indians. So they have a lot of transactions in India all the time. So we work with many professionals. Based on your requirement, I want to give the recommendation. So if you're looking for some property sale, taxation, some experts are there. If you're just want to file taxes, some experts are there. So
yeah. Thank you, Andy. అది ఫైన్ చేయటం కష్టంగా ఉంది అక్కడ ఇండియాలో కరెక్ట్.
No, you don't have the right person to connect. Okay, I can help.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Mr. Anil, one thing related to this, to repatriate the money to US, you need to move the money from NRO to NRE, right? So just having the money in NRO will not help. It has to move to NRE, then you can repatriate, right?
No need.
Not required, Sudhakar. You cannot move actually also, technically.
No, but to really, like, as long as it's in the NRO, you have to pay taxes in India. But once the money moves to NRE, then you can transfer, you don't have to pay taxes in India, right?
No, sir. I will give the clarity there. So in NRE, any fixed deposits or any interest income you earned on NRE account, you don't need to pay taxes in India, but you have to pay taxes in US. Okay, that's the first point. Number two, from NRO account, you can directly transfer funds to US directly. You don't have to transfer the funds to NRE account. But there are some exceptions. You can transfer as long as, just like you're transferring money from NRO to US, what are the documentations are there? Same thing, you can give it to the bank and they can transfer the money from NRO to NRE also. But apart from that interest income tax exemption in NRE, there are no other advantages. You can transfer money from NRO to US directly. You don't have to go to NRE again.
That's something very interesting to know. I thought it's always has to be done. Yeah. Okay. Srini, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Anil Garu, for all the answers here. But now I would like to welcome Mr. Sudhakar Uppala, Secretary of JNTUH Alumni Association, to deliver the message of thanks to Mr. Anil Grandi.
Suresh Chapidi, right?
No, I would like to Sudhakar to continue on that. Please go ahead, Sudhakar.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Anil. It's a very hot topic, and every time I listen to you, I learn something new. And I have attended in person when you were in New Jersey, and I attended a couple of webinars, and you're very energetic, efficient, and enthusiastic. I think this all makes you someone in the top 20. It's not easy. So you made it that clearly shows the way, the flow, and the information you provided. Probably in 20 minutes you have provided like a lot of knowledge to us, and I'm sure whoever joined that, they got a lot of information, and really regarding the like repatriation, tax planning, starting a business. I'm sure like every time you give a speech or you present this one, there will be at least a few small businesses starts. So that's that's a like win-win situation. You know, it's a win situation for the country, it's a win situation for the individual, and it's something you are adding to the growth of the to the growth, right? So it's very, very encouraging, and I hope that like whoever is listening to this, either through the Zoom or through the YouTube, I'm sure there will be some people who will be coming to you or start thinking about how to start a business. So, and a lot of Indians are entrepreneurs, and they have a lot of enthusiasm, and this really helps them to, it gives a light to them, saying that you just don't work on the W-2 or just the pay, but you have more avenues to really think about it. So it's very, very, very like thoughtful presentation. And also some of the things you said about gifts from India, I'm sure a lot of people have that. Even I went through a very tough situation. I had to transfer some money to India, and it took several years, and I had to go around and talk to CAs, and there was no like clarity on how to do it. So at least now I know we have a friend, we have a like Margadarshi who can help us to get the things done. And thanks a lot, and I'm sure like we'll come back to you. and probably we'll have more sessions in the future. Just again, thank you all from the JNTUH alumni and all the people who joined this call. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sudhakar garu. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Like Sudhakar garu said, like there are so many things that Anil garu, you made like very easy to understand and all. But definitely, as I see from the presentation, we have more to learn from you also. Definitely, we would welcome you to any next session sometime down the road. Yeah, thank you. With this, I would like to turn over to Mr. Kumar Rani on more like a JNTU meet and greet and a continuation on the things here. Kumar garu, please continue.
Thank you very much, Srini. Really, very nice day today. We learned a lot of stuff today, and thank you, Sunita Kursiri garu and Anil Gandhi, for your valuable time. And I know it's very taxation time. Really great, and thank you. Really, we appreciate. And I think we need more information in the different topics. We will bring you back soon, sometime. And then today is a great lot of knowledge we learned. We invite all the members today. Basically, we have a few people to introduce attending today with all the time and energy. I know some of you were introduced before. Just I want to see Jaykar is here, and I would like to Jaykar, can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, India. Great resources. I'm JNTUH Vice President now from India. And I really congratulate the organizers and especially Kumar Rani garu for picking up these two great stalwarts, Sunita madam and Anil. And really proud to have an Indian on the Forbes list, that good Telugu guy. And we are proud of Anil Gandhi. Gandhi, are you from Srikakulam? Because there is a Gandhi family there.
Aunandi, Rajamandi. Yes.
I could make out. That's good. Okay. I have roots in Vizag, Srikakulam. So that's why, great. I thank one and all the organizers and our committee and the board of USA chapter, and really congratulate each one of you. And God bless you both, Sunita and Anil Gandhi garu, for your great talent. May you richly be blessed in this season of Lent and Good Friday and Easter forthcoming tomorrow. And really, you are great assets, and we are proud of you as Indians, doing great job in America, helping all our Indian community, especially our JNTU, because all are well accomplished and successful, I can say. And definitely, as Uppala had some problems and we too had some problems. I worked in America for 5 years. So the hiccups of transferring money, really I empathize and sympathize with Sudhakar Uppala. And now that things are being streamlined, and the CPAs as well as in the CAs on the counterpart of India, we have enough exchange of notes and exchange of clauses and sections. This definitely, if you could throw light or some light on these sections where the inter-country transfers or international transfers, where how tax provisions or tax cushions can be taken so that we can set off. So I know in BHL I worked on the audit as head of audit for 6 divisions. So I'm an engineer with a financial earning skills. So great. You guys are really great. I could follow every topic. And God bless you all, and God bless the organizers and our USA counterpart. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jaykar. Thank you for taking time and attending. Really, we need not only you have to bring all your friends too. We need more people to attend. And this is Many times this is general topics that, wealth, health, and all the topics we are bringing. And it is, I think we need encouragement from all your friends too. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for joining today.
You bet.
See you soon, actually next week or so in Hyderabad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy. Nice presentation. Thank you for Srini giving me opportunity to join this session. Very good information.
And we have Arvind Kumar and Sai. Can you please introduce yourself, please?
Hi, this is Arvind Kumar. I'm from 78 batch. I think I met some of you last year in Princeton when you had an in-person meeting. And I think I would like to absolutely thank both the speakers today. I think as others have expressed, very informative and crystal clear presentations, very beneficial for people who are at a stage closer to retirement or retired. Very useful.